Hello, everyone. Again, or like the past few weeks, there has been something that has been on my mind. It has really triggered a lot of emotions for me, and I cannot say that thing right now because for me, it's like I really want this thing to happen, and if I say that thing out loud, like to not in the sense of like manifestation or like saying out loud for it to happen, but like in terms of announcing it to the world, even though no one might watch this, but still just putting it out there for anyone to hear rather than having the universe hear it. You know what I mean? Like I have this superstition that it might not end up happening because the wrong people might end up hearing this and they might not wish for that to happen for me. But yeah, so unless that thing happens, I would not be putting it out there for anyone to hear. Not because I'm ashamed of that thing, if it might not happen. I mean, if I fail, I fail in it. There's no big deal. But still, just until it happens. And of course, it happens, I'll be most definitely sharing that because that thing that's supposed to happen is a very important step in my life. And if it happens, it would honestly prove a lot of things to me that I'm capable of doing. But also, if I fail in it, it doesn't prove that, oh, I'm not capable of those things. It thought that I was having today was like, oh yeah, this thing that I worked so hard for and invested so much of my time and money in it, and I'm just so afraid of it like not happening that sometimes the fear of it not happening took over me so much that I didn't even get to enjoy this thing or enjoy the whole process at all. And that really struck me as to why was I letting fear control me so much or have so much control over me that I was missing out on what I had always wished for in a way. I need to change the perspective on this. Like, okay, of course there will always be things that you care about, and because you care about them so much, you will feel a sense of fear every single time. Where it's pretty freaking stupid to say, okay, oh, just do not feel the fear, because that's just not realistic. The perspective should be more like, oh, maybe do feel the fear and do feel scared, because that fear is pointing to you that, oh, this is something you do care about. If you do not care about this certain thing, you will not feel anything towards it. And I honestly think that's worse, because when I was in art school a few years back, the one thing that they taught us regarding any project that we did was your project should always drive some response or some kind of reaction, whether it be a bad reaction or a good reaction, because the good reaction obviously tells you what the project does well, but the bad reaction also tells you what the project could improve on. But no reaction or like a meh reaction does not give you either. So it's pretty much the worst thing that could happen to you. Having no reaction is worse than having a bad reaction. In a way, it's also good to feel the fear about it, because the fear teaches me that I do care about this thing, and I very, very much want this thing to go right. And because I'm so fearful of it, I will work even harder for it. And that should be the mentality, rather than, oh, I feel so much fear over this thing, I'm just not gonna even do anything about it. Not doing anything about it would just let the fear become even bigger rather than getting smaller. And at one hand you'll be like, oh, I'll just give up and like not feel anything about it. Second, you'll be like, oh, I'm feeling all this fear, but I don't know what to do. And then it'll be like, oh, I'm feeling all this fear, but you know what? The more I practice, the more I learn, the more I study, the less fear I'll feel, because the more I study, the more I would have an idea of what will come up in this exam. And why would I feel any more fear if I already know what's in the exam? It's a very basic example. It's always harder to do than to talk about them. I have to constantly remind myself that, oh, try not to make the fear your enemy and wash off your hands of it by being like, oh, I feel fear, I don't know what's gonna happen. No. And like not do anything about it, rather than use that fear as your friend and as your motivation to be like, oh, I feel fear, but you know what? To help that fear become less and to not be fearful of it anymore, learn more about this thing. I'm gonna get very, very familiar with this thing, so when I do have to face this thing, I'm not that fearful anymore. What if, rather than making fear our enemy, we made fear our friend?